welcome to my channel. Today we are going to work on this painting. If you've watched my other two videos before this one, you'll see that I'm working on a series where I paint Disney princesses and Disney villains in my style. And the last one I painted was Sleeping Beauty, and here is the finished. So if you want to see me paint that, you can see those other two videos. And for today, we're starting on Snow White. So yeah, and again, I live next to a busy street, so you're gonna hear cars going by. For this video, I think I'm going to try to finish her head. So her face and the rest of her hair, her bow and everything. Hopefully I can get it done in this video. I do paint slow, and the head is usually what I take the most amount of time on because you want to get that right. So we'll see. But yeah, stay tuned. So as you can see, I've already done her hair. Or maybe you can't tell what that is, but yes, this is all her hair on this side. And we're moving on to her face. So my portraits, I generally paint people in, I guess, weird colors or unconventional colors. I don't really paint people in the typical flesh tones. So for the most part, she's going to be blue with some hints of red and purple. Oh, I guess I can show you my palette. Hopefully I don't. I'm always scared I'm gonna drop it. Just one second. This is my palette. It's glass. And yeah. The brushes I'm using, that was a Filbert. I use them with different sizes. And this one is a shader. It's pretty small. And I'm painting in oils. And I like to paint from right to left. It's just what I'm most comfortable with. When I try to paint all over and hit stuff all over the place, it overwhelms me. But my version of Snow White, it's obviously going to be pretty different from the cartoon version. I feel like she is probably the sweetest of the Disney princesses. And mine is not. mine's not gonna be that sweet. My version's gonna be a little bit of a baddie. Because why not? I don't know, I just envisioned her with a little sass. I envisioned her telling the evil queen to go fuck herself. So yeah. Right now I'm doing the eye, doing the upper folds and stuff of the eye. She's kind of like staring down like this. And there's a little subtle color changes. I'm trying to get in there. Just blocking in the darkest parts of the eye. The black. I do like to put in, when doing the eye, put in all the dark parts. It's a good guide for everything else. To see how everything's gonna look. With eyes, the whites of the eyes, the sclera, I believe that's what it's called. It's never actually white. It's usually like gray, or in this instance, blue. So I'm working off of a reference that I did in Procreate. It's just like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different references, and I drew it out and to make it look like how I wanted it. And I colored in Procreate. I'm really liking probably what was accidental. I'm really liking all the different colors I added in. Okay, it's actually the next day, the next morning, and I've brought you closer. So I guess let me know if you like this angle. I feel like if I was watching, I would want to see closer. So, brought you closer. And yeah, yesterday, my neighbor's gardeners showed up, and it got rolled out. So I just decided to call it for the day and come back now. And let's see how far we get. Honestly, I want to get pretty far, so we are on a mission today. So, right now, you're probably like wondering what that is. I'm moving into adding in like the skeletal structure that I often add to my portraits. It's just part of my style. So this is like the eye socket, and then it's going to be the cheekbone, and see the teeth. So I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the other videos, but if you haven't seen those, what I'm painting on is cotton fabric that I prime with gesso. Yeah. I attach it on to a canvas and then staple in the back. And yeah, do a couple of layers. Well, I think I do one layer of gesso because it's clear gesso, but it dulls out the fabric, and I don't want to dull it out too much. So just one layer. And to plan out where I want the painting to go on this big slab of fabric, I take pictures of the fabric and then I bring it into Procreate and position it where it will look good. Something that's pretty hard is finding a fabric that will work with the portrait that I'm doing. So with the Sleeping Beauty I just did, I had an idea of what I wanted. I wanted the pink roses. I wanted them to be a little desaturated for the dreamy effect. But with this Snow White, when you think Snow White, you automatically think like apples. And because I'm not incorporating an apple or the poison apple in a conventional way, you'll see why later. I thought, well, I'll do that via the fabric that I choose. But honestly, all of the fabric that had apples, they were not cool. They look like they were for a kindergarten teacher who makes her own dresses and would have wore an apple dress for the first day of school. And that's no shade to kindergarten teachers or people that make their own dresses, because I would like to make my own dresses. But it's very very kindergarten classroom chic, and that's not the vibe I was going for. So I think while I was shopping for the for Snow White, not for Snow White, for Sleeping Beauty, my husband actually found this fabric, and he was like, Snow White sings to birds, right? And I was like, she does. It's actually perfect. And the birds came with just an outline, and so I glazed over them with blue, and then I'll go back in and add with blue acrylic, different blues, and then I'll add a little bit more detail into them later on. But yeah, it wasn't what I was envisioning at first, but I think it works pretty well. So right here I need a bit of a shadow. So instead of just using a darker, because I need like a darker red, instead of just using the darker red, I laid down that kind of teal green, dark green color, and then put a dark maroon over it. And that created a little bit of a shadow, kind of a neutral shadow, or a darker color that I needed. So the way I colored this face is there's a lot of red and there's a lot of blue, and then in between those there's a lot of pinks and purples. And because red and blue are on different ends of the color spectrum, with blue being cool and red being warm, and I'm trying to have them, you know, coexist on her face without getting muddy. Because if you mix them too much, they'll start to get gray or brown. So, yeah. I think I mentioned before that when I paint portraits, the skin tones are weird colors. They're either like a monotone, or I try to make them look iridescent or whatever. There's not really a rhyme or reason to it. And with this one, because two of her main colors in her color palette for Snow White, it's red, blue, and like yellow and black. And I decided, instead of making her all blue, which I probably was leaning towards at first, I decided to add in tinges of red. And I like the way it looks when I, mapped it out on my iPad, so hopefully it translates well on to this piece. In the past it has. Translated well, so I think it should be good. Again, I don't really, it's not necessarily a lighting thing, it's just where I think the color looks cool. I do want to work on lighting more though, and I feel in order to do that I need to start painting from life, or at least like taking my own photos and painting from that. So I may, tackle that in the upcoming year. See, to deepen that right there, to make it just a little bit more dark, or a little darker, I added in a little dark red, and yeah. Go in and outline where the teeth are gonna go. I don't really like that. So I'm gonna wipe it off. try that again. Okay. I'm gonna try and do this without fucking it up. So I may go quiet for a little bit. Since her front teeth, her teeth are showing, so I want these to match up. Because it's almost like it's like X-ray vision. Like under her skin, you can see her bones mixed in with her actual regular face. That's the idea. I know it says gonna be quiet, but now I'm talking again. But from what people told me, sometimes people notice the skeletal parts right away. And sometimes people don't notice it, and then it's kind of like revealed to them. And I think that's cool. I would want to experience that. I can't because I painted it, so I know what it looks like. But I once was at a show where one of my bigger pieces was displayed, art show, and I was standing next to this woman and talking about a piece, and I literally watched her realize that there was a skeleton visible in the face. I mean, she hadn't realized it before, and she like exclaimed, "Oh my god, there's a skeleton there." And it was so cool to see. It's, as an artist, it's just fascinating to know. It's fascinating to see what people see in your work. Also, people automatically, those that do, realize, okay, I see there's a skeleton there. A lot of people realize that, or think that, I'm painting death because, skulls and skeletons are the symbol for death, right? But that's not it at all. It's just an appreciation for anatomy and the biological or physiological and anatomical things that make us human and make our bodies work and run. And that's what that is. And also it looks kind of creepy, and I like that. But a lot of times people assign death as the meaning to all my paintings because of the skeleton. And sometimes it's cool and serves for interesting interpretations, but I'm not thinking about death at all when I'm painting them. But that's not the forefront. So, yeah. So now I kind of want them to be a little bit more subdued. I want them to be less prominent. But with the other painting, with the Sleeping Beauty, to do that, I kind of blended it all together. And don't know if I want to do that or if I want like blend it together with this mop brush. I don't know if I want to do that or wait till it's dry and then glaze over it, so to really bring down those whites. I'm gonna try a little bit of this. And then maybe bring some the depth back, but not completely. And yes, Snow White has a cigarette in her mouth. I will explain that later, I guess, or yeah, I can explain it later. But yeah, that's when, by her being a bit of a baddie, go in with a little bit lighter red. Or a little bit more dimension. This is going to be her teeth. What I find about painting teeth like in the mouth is just doesn't need a whole lot. Your brain will do the rest. And I haven't decided if I want her to have glossy lips or matte lips. I kind of like Slight lighting change. It has gotten darker. I had to step away, so and by the time I came back, it's too dark. It's still daylight outside, but it's just getting to the end of the day. So yeah, so I just went ahead and cut on the overhead lights. I'm trying to decide if I need more light over here. We'll see. Also, I turned on my fan, my ceiling fan. You probably can hear it. I don't know how much of the mic is picking up. Haven't had to turn on the air yet, but we'll see. Later, I'm gonna add in all the true highlights. Like once the painting's dry, I just want this tip to stand out more. And the bridge. This side is mostly red. It's more red on this side. At least that's how I made it. So I'm just blocking in all these colors. Red. I'm gonna come back and, like, when everything dries, and tidy up that hairline. Honestly, coloring of this kind of reminds me of a bomb pop, like the popsicle. Like it's making me want one. Let's do the eyebrows. I feel like I'm doing makeup right now. Flicks to show hair, but this is blue. And come in. Pink. Make them a little fluffy. I'm gonna go ahead and outline the eye and make sure it matches up with the other one. It's way later than it might seem since this is all edited together, but let's see what time is it. It is midnight, so I'm tired, but I really want to finish. Really want to finish this tonight and spend all day editing it tomorrow. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna finish the face instead of her hair too. I don't think I have that much juice in me tonight, so we're gonna finish her face. Once we do the eye, it's just blocking in her cheek, and then we'll be done for this video. Just trying to get in all the different colors that are showing up for me in her eye. There's some purple, there's ultramarine blue, teal. Brighten it up in areas. I just really love these colors. At least right now I do. Could totally have in the morning, have a whole complete change of mind. And like, what was I thinking? Jesus. These colors are all over the place, but I like them right now. There's like so many different colors in this area. Itching to add in some eyelashes. I have a song, Pump the Jam. Like the song from I can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s. I have it stuck in my head, and it is taking everything in me not to start singing it. And I don't know why. My brain is like a radio. So any variety of random songs are playing in my head at any given time. And right now it's Pump the Jam. I think I'm tired. And I'm thinking of things in my mind to keep me awake, because my own ASMR activity right now is putting me to sleep. And I need to just hold on for a little bit longer. Just hold on for one more day, if you know what I'm saying. It's another song. Make my day. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Okay. So, finally doing the iris. Lightening it up a bit. Okay. And then gonna add that little highlight. That's lackluster. Other little areas. Now I have All I Want for Christmas Is You. I don't know why. I legit haven't heard that song in a while. I mean, it is December, so somewhere in the world it's playing right now. But yeah, now that song playing in my head, it's nice to know that my very tired lizard brain just resorts to music. Good to know. Funny thing is I'm trying not to sing it. I don't have a terrible voice, but I don't think that would be relaxing. Alright. Wow. I really love these for now with this. I feel like this video is going to be a million hours long. I don't know. We'll see when I start editing. But this is so far what I have with Snow White in my style. I will be back with part 2. We're finishing up the painting. I'm gonna go and finish out a good chunk of it and then come back and finish it on camera like I did the Sleeping Beauty painting. So thanks for watching and have a good night. Bye.